I think. I mean, I don't think we. I mean, it's a really good song on the album called Weekend, and I think that's why we chose it.
Okay.
Actually, we didn't release that song as a single. We kind of released it a little bit in between, and that's. I think that's why we.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think titles and stuff like that are obviously important, but I think it's something that you focus more on as a band. The first couple of albums. This is our 5th album. Obviously, it's something that we care about, but it might not be my number one priority to come up with the coolest title for the album, which is unfortunate in one way. But The Weeknd is also what I think what this album is about and what our band is a little bit about. You know, it's both Fridays, Sundays, and Saturdays. You know, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. It's up-tempo, happy stuff, but it's also a little bit of a case of Sundays or Mondays, I would say. But you know what I mean.
I know.
Don't ask questions like that.
But it was a good answer.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
I try to don't just like ask questions with like what, how, why are you called the Sounds or something?
Yeah.
No.
No one knows.
I won't say something. But I have to go to the cover artwork. So is there any? What is the connection to the artwork then?
I think.
Had nothing to do with it.
No,
it's just a good picture.
I mean, a week.
Not even that.
A weekend. I don't know.
It's like the biggest Ferris wheel. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
In the world, it's in Tokyo somewhere, I think, or in Japan at least.
Yeah,
okay.
It's in Japan.
Big ass crazy.
But
I don't know.
We had some options and we choose that one because I think it looked good.
Okay. Well, that's a good reason. It has to look good. Yeah, in comparison to your earlier albums and even I guess to the last one, this one sound a bit more like even more like pop music, or just into the pop music, I guess. Do you think the same?
I mean, I think the last album before this one was a little bit more experimental in one way.
More electronic then, yeah.
And I think this one is a little bit more. We try to capture a little bit more of what the essence of the sounds, which I think is most of the time playing live. And that is sometimes a little bit harder than you think to try to capture that on a record. But I think we managed to do it pretty well on this one. And we also didn't really want to overthink every song too much. Like we wanted that kind of vibe of just a band going into the rehearsal space and putting on our amps and record. And it's a little bit more, I don't know, what's a good word for it? Spontaneous.
Okay. So what do you think, because you were talking about the recording, what do you think about recording an album the old school way, like playing live in the studio? Have you done this before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first album was more like this album we recorded, because then we didn't really know how a studio worked on the first album. We just went in, recorded some stuff live and some stuff, not live. And it was a little bit like this on this album. Like we recorded, we want to have a band feeling, like the band just go into the studio and have a good time and not overthinking so much of the situation.
And we've done so many different live sessions before over the years. I think like in Mexico we've done a couple, in America, and I think over years, we all become better at our instruments, and I think it's easier now than it would have been a couple of years ago to do it well. And I think we're good enough to do it now. So, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's not what we're aiming for, which is a good thing. Perfection is not something that's good for rock music.
Yeah, that's right. I think too. Yeah. Did you do this on your own, like the album before?
No, we had a producer called Alex Newport, which been producing a little bit different bands from our sound, more some psychedelic rock and heavier stuff. But he has a really good ear. He's a good producer. He knows what we want to do in the studio. So he helped us out to produce the album this time.
It was great.
Yeah.
And at first, when I heard I guess it was like, heard the ones that I love, or heard the ones I love, I thought about like an 80s ballad or like Roxette or something.
Cool.
Is it? Do you have any connection to that? Because it's sometimes when I listen to your albums, I hear that 80s vibe coming through, kind of.
I think we're always gonna have a connection to the 80s. We grew up
Yeah,
in the 80s.
of course.
So I think the way we write music sometimes reminds people of how songs from the 80s were written, because that's how we were listening to music. I guess when we started to get interested in music, that's what we did in the 80s. But when we wrote the music for that song, we didn't have in mind that we have to make this an 80s song.
I think a lot has to do with that guitar
the guitar sound is 80s.
Yeah.
And if you would just take that away or add it with some different sound, maybe it changed the whole picture. So
yeah.
But I like that. I think it sounds cool. I've heard some other comparison with Bryan Adams.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And what else? Yeah.
All the good stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but seriously, those
Well, I guess
are, like,
Roxette is
might
good.
not be our favorite songs over the years, but they're big songs.
Yeah.
Could be a lot worse.
Yeah, of course. So in Germany, we have we listen to so many bands which are from Sweden, like in the metal scene, punk rock, and also the indie rock scene. Do you think there's a difference between the Swedish music scene and in the scene maybe in Europe or in other countries?
Yeah, I mean, it's different in the ways that we're only 9 million people, but we're still very successful at it compared to most European countries.
This is the bass player. Hello.
Compared to other European countries except England, I would say we're far ahead of everybody else, which is really cool. I think something that I'm really proud of, and why I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know why Swedes are good at writing music. We always get that question.
Okay.
Now we didn't, but we're still bringing it up. But I mean, I don't know.
I think also Swedes have always had to learn a different language. We can't rely on everybody else speaking Swedish. And you guys are overdubbing your movies and TV shows and all that, and we get to hear English at a very early age. And we also study English at an early age, just as we study German or French and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I think we're really good at... Swedes might not be the best people when it comes to inventing new stuff, but we're really good at taking something that's already invented and make it even better and make it our own. You know, like rock music. We didn't invent that, but we're pretty good at it.
Yeah, of course.
And so are we with songwriting. I mean, there were so many good songwriters coming out of Sweden. And we all know how to speak English at a proper level. And we can make it internationally big. And I think Swedes in general are also very sensitive to new fashions and styles. And yeah.
So is there a lot of Swedish music in your radio in Sweden?
Absolutely.
Oh, really? In Swedish? Sung in Swedish?
Yeah, now it is.
Okay.
It's become really popular a couple of years ago.
It comes and goes.
Yeah, it's been like, last 2-3 years, and now it's, I don't know how many percent, but it's a lot singing in Swedish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it true? I had this rumor. It's true that you don't, or like there's some cities in Sweden where the rehearsal space or the rehearsal rooms are a bit like you don't have to pay much for it.
Yeah,
or you get it for
it's
free.
like that
even?
everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when we grew up, it was like that.
There's,
okay.
I think they're like, are they connected to the school or something? But it's not owned by the
no, but
city
it's
or
like owned by
government,
the city, and the city is not owned, but it's run by different parties, and it's politics definitely, but it has to do with supporting young kids. And you both, I mean, like I was playing French horn at a very early age, and I didn't really have to pay for that. I didn't have to buy it myself because it's quite expensive instrument, and so I could rent it for a cheap amount of money, and my mom could rent it, and they've always been supporting kids and like that. Like,
okay, that's great.
Social spaces or instruments or...
I guess it's like, I mean, here, if you're a kid here, I'm sure if you want to try out to play ice hockey or soccer, you can go and don't pay anything for that. You can join up to a team. That's how it is with music in Sweden as well. If you're interested in music, you can go and learn to that place that not the government pays for or whatever, and try out French horn or piano or guitar, and just, the Swedish society has support musicians from a long time.
Unfortunately, though, I think they just took that away. You know, it used to be like a big thing, but they've been saving money now.
Yeah, so
Already.
maybe in 20 years Sweden won't be successful
Exactly.
in running music anymore.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, so they
Then we
put
know
away.
if that is a big part, which I think it is.
Yeah, of
Obviously,
course.
I mean,
Yeah.
No, but it's true. It's been cutting it down like everywhere else. I guess. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, because when I grew up, like someone said it to me, I was like, "What? I get it for free? It's so great!" Because in my city, we had to pay like for the hours in the rehearsal room, which was not hours because there wasn't any.
Then it will be
So
less hours.
That sucked. So we had 2 hours to write a song. Let's do it. So and that
doesn't work.
No,
you need like a whole night or 2 days or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, no
That's
time
a
limit
bummer.
then. Yeah. So do you still live in Sweden then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
We live in Malmö.
Mhm.
No.
We have our studio and our rehearsal space in
Yeah.
Malmö. And you stayed in Copenhagen for quite some time, but that's just like 20 minutes away anyway.
Yeah.
So
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's just across the bridge, so it's...
Mhm.
it's really close. But I think it's good. I mean, like, I haven't really stayed in my apartment that much lately, but it's always nice to know that you have one place where you can change your clothes and repack your bags and stuff like that. But basically, I've been more in a tour bus and hotel rooms the last couple of years.
Mhm.
We all
Yeah.
have.
I guess like for many kids, it's like a dream to
Yeah.
to live that way.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I can think of like also like hard times you get through if you're on tour all the time. And I don't know if you guys have family or yeah. If you have like, or isn't it hard to leave family or friends at home then
Both yes
all
and
the
no.
time? I mean, you're
Yeah,
used to it.
As you said, both yes and no. Our families and friends, they're used to it. 'Cause we've been doing it for 15 years. So I don't think it's not hard. I mean, this is our job, but
I find it difficult sometimes, especially now when you grow older and, you know, you've lost pretty much all your grandparents being on the road. You haven't been able to... I mean, I've been missing out on funerals and weddings and kids getting baptized and, you know, all of those kind of big moments in people's lives and my own. I've been missing out on a lot. And that is something that's kind of hard and sad sometimes, but I mean, I love this as well. I think this is the best job ever.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I guess many would agree with that.
Yeah, it's a fun job we have, you know.
Okay, so at the end of every interview, we do something like an interview in the interview.
Okay.
I give you like one word or like a phrase, and you say just something quick. Then, okay, this sounds
Great.
favorite beer?
Not Beck's.
No,
That's a good answer.
not Beck's. Okay. What can we say? Miley Cyrus.
Bad.
What's up with that girl? I'm curious.
Oh, can I change that?
Yeah, of course.
Rehab in 5 years.
Okay.
5 months.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is she still 27? No.
No, she's young.
like 19 or 18 or 20
No,
or
she's
something.
like
Okay.
20
So
something.
I don't
then okay.
I'm sure you can go to rehab when you're 16 in the States.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Of course. Sports. Do you watch them?
Yeah.
I love it. I
Okay.
really do. Yeah.
Tomorrow Sweden is playing against Portugal.
Oh yeah,
for
the playoffs.
Playoffs, and they're playing at 8:40. No, what time? 8:45, and the sound's playing at 9, so we're not gonna be able to see the show.
Oh okay.
So
So
we
you have to put the ticker on the phone and walk
I'm
like to
planning
the
on-
amp and look at it. Oh.
Well, you've been planning on putting on some, I don't know, some screen.
I'll
bigger
just
screen.
buy a big screen and
Have
put
it
it on
on
right next.
stage.
Now sports is fun.
We love that.
Yeah.